On today's episode of Poland Daily Culture, we are going to give you an insight into a foreign perspective living in Poland. We will be exploring their experiences and how they have absorbed certain aspects of the culture.
In today's episode, I will be talking to a lovely girl named Meha in a beautiful restaurant called Dom Polski in Warsaw. Hello, Meha, and welcome to Poland Daily Culture.
Thank you very much, Paula.
Thank you for coming. What would be your tip for a foreigner before moving to Poland? Do you have a thing that you would recommend or to do or to think of?
I would encourage people to keep an open mind and also to travel within Poland, because people don't realize that there's more to Poland than just the cities like Krakow and Warsaw. Poland is so diverse that way. In the north you have the Baltic Sea with all the beautiful, the Trójmiasto cities. In the southwest you have the Tatra Mountains, southeast the Bieszczady, and the Mazure lakes, and there's so many different forests and lakes and sea, and there's just so much to see and explore. And I would really encourage people to not just come to Poland with a thing that just go to Warsaw or Wrocław or Krakow, but also to discover nature in Poland.
I especially admire the mountains, I think, in Poland.
Yes, they're
Even
incredibly
in the summer,
beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
And what would you name as your favorite thing about living here?
Well, I think my favorite thing about living in Warsaw is the access to the river. When I have some of my friends visiting me from Belgium or Germany, they are just so amazed that you have very good access to the river even from the city center. And in summer it's so lively with the two sides of the river, and one side where you can do barbecues and fires, and the other side where you have the pubs and bars in summer lined up.
Yeah, the Vistula Boulevard.
Yes, it's so relaxing, Warsaw in summer especially, and watching the kayaks floating by, and it's quite amazing. So this is, I think, personally my favorite thing about Warsaw river, and being able to enjoy the river.
And your favorite thing about living here in the country? So
in the country, I think I really enjoy the fact that women are considered equal in Polish society. So whether it's the workplace or at, I'm not really so sure about home, but definitely at the workplace. I mean, time and again, and this is not just something new for Poland. I think women have been an important part of the Polish workforce for many, many years now, and you can find them at senior positions at banks, other institutions, companies, in the board of directors, and so on. So I think this is the power that Poland has. Even compared to, I think, Western Europe, it's remarkable that there are so many women working in management. And I feel strong as a woman here. This is where I feel like I found my freedom. I feel like I can do what I would really like to do and not have to, follow somebody else's wishes and demands.
It makes me happy to hear that. And we were also one of the first few countries where women got the right to vote, I think.
Yes, yeah. And compare that to many Western European countries, and I think they would be ashamed of that. Yes. So Poland and women, there's really power in women in Poland, for sure.
And one thing that you're maybe not so fond of in Poland?
I think increasingly maybe the rhetoric in recent times, especially for the last 3 or 4 years, it feels like sometimes people don't necessarily want to talk to each other or exchange their views, and they're just very staunchly believing in just their views. I think it's okay to have differences in opinion, but it's also important to hear other people, listen to other thoughts and opinions, whether it's in the political spectrum or the cultural
That's
space.
What I have observed as well. It's hard to have a discussion when it comes to politics.
Incredibly, I didn't feel like that 5 years back, for example. I did not have this feeling, but I don't know if it's the Warsaw feeling, but more specifically, I think in the last 3 or 4 years for me, sometimes I feel like it's better not to discuss politics with friends anymore when it was not like that before.
There's quite a few stereotypes about Poland. Do you know any, and would you agree with some of them?
I think that's normal for any country to be viewed by outsiders and certain stereotypes. For me, coming from India, if I were to talk about a stereotype, for example, I think when I told a family member that I was moving to Poland, and the first immediate reaction was, oh, it's a communist country, why would you want to move there? So people don't realize that times have changed, and they have changed drastically. So I think that's one stereotype. And
I've came across that as well, and it's a bit painful, actually. What's people's perception abroad is, when I go back to Canada, sometimes people ask me if we have horses here everywhere, and I mean it's kind of a joke, but in that joke there's some truth to it too, what people think, and also people always ask me, is it very cold there?
Well, it's colder in Canada, I guess.
Yes, it is.
Definitely colder.
In some places it gets up to minus 30, 40.
Yes, I was shocked when I was in Canada 2 years back in winter. And I thought I was prepared because I had seen Polish winter, but it was much, much colder in Canada.
I think so too. There's also, people usually think also good things about Poles, that they're hardworking, very well educated, and I agree.
There is a truth in that, and Polish people, I think, are by nature very direct in sharing their opinions, which I think is great. It's very different from maybe the British way of thinking and being. So there's something to appreciate in how people are very direct. They can be very polite, but very direct at the same time, very kind. Sometimes when I'm using public transport and I sometimes come across or overhear conversations of other people, and they might not agree on a certain situation and they might have a dialogue, but they talk to each other. They talk to each other, they take out their feelings, which I think is important. You're not holding anything back, but it's never violent. So that is something good, I believe. Yes, fostering this dialogue.
You feel like there's good communication between people here in Poland?
Yes, in general, that's my observation, that people don't necessarily hide what they feel. They take it out, they express it, and expression is important, because if you keep something within yourself, it fosters or festers inside you, and then it might come out in the wrong way later on.
That's interesting. And how do you feel about Polish hospitality?
Oh, it's incredible. And what I love about a Polish Christmas dinner, the Wigilia, is that there's always a place for a guest. Always. There's a table set up and a chair always at the main table for a guest. And this is, for me, a true sign of Polish hospitality. There's always something for everyone. And I think this is another perception that people don't have outside of Poland about Polish people, that they are so hospitable and so kind to outsiders. The news might say something different, but just from my personal experience, I think people have been wonderful to me in Poland. And I really, really appreciate that.
Thank you so much for talking to me.
Yes, thank you, Paula. And
it was very interesting.
Thank you for inviting me.